This video will cover how to use the TI-84 or the TI-83 to find the descriptive statistics for a set of data. Remember that the descriptive statistics include the arithmetic mean. That means if you add all of the data points together and then divide by the number of data points you have, as well as the standard deviation, which means, on average, how far does a typical point of data stray from the mean. So let's say that we're looking at the prices that people are willing to pay for coffee. So let's say that the most someone's willing to pay for coffee is $3, maybe another person's willing to pay $4, $6, $10, etc. What we're going to do is we're going to use our TI-89. So when you turn your TI-89 on by pressing the button in the bottom left-hand corner, you should see a blinking black bar right here. Now, what we want to do first is we want to enter this data. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the stats button. That's the second row down, third column in. Now what we want to do is we want to hit enter because we want to edit our data. Now as you can see, I already have the data entered in here. Let's say that you have other data entered, like you use this for a different class, or you're borrowing a friend's calculator, and let's say you want to clear this out. What you're going to do is you're going to hit the up button, make sure that L1 is highlighted, hit clear, and then to make sure that you save the fact that you want to clear that, you're going to hit enter. Now we have a nice clean slate to enter our data. So let's go ahead and start entering. So let's say we want to enter the data point 3, we're going to hit 3 and enter. And then for the next data point 4 and enter, and we're going to keep doing that for all data. 3 again, 6, 5, 10, 0, 6.5, and 5.5. Enter. Alright, so we have all of our data entered. Let's scroll up and make sure it all looks good. Yep, looks great. Alright, now that we have all of our data entered, what we actually want to do is some statistics. So we're going to hit the stats button again. Only this time we don't want to edit our data. What we want to do is we actually want to do some calculations. So go ahead and hit over. And we're only dealing with one variable, which is price. So we want to look at one variable statistics. So make sure one is highlighted and click enter. Now what it's going to ask us to do is it wants us to enter the list that we want to use. So we want to use the list L1 since that's where we stored our data. Let's say that you're borrowing this calculator and L1 isn't here. Let's say that it has L2. To change this to L1, what you're going to do is you're going to hit the second button, which is blue. Then you're going to hit the number 1. If you look above the number 1 here, you can see that there's a blue L1, so that's what you just selected. If you wanted to enter your data into a different list, let's say that you don't want to delete the data that you have in L1, you could enter it in L2, and then you would hit the button 2 for that. Frequent list, we don't want that to have any data in there. If you do happen to have something here, you can just hit clear and enter, and that will get rid of that. Now we are ready to calculate, so go ahead and hit enter. And now we see our descriptive statistics. Yay! So you see X bar, which is the arithmetic mean. So on average, out of these 9 people, they are willing to pay about $4.77. We also have the standard deviation, sigma x, which is 2.78, which means that on average, people stray away from this mean by $2.78. Sigma x, we will get to what that means later. N equals 9, that means that we have 9 data points. So we had 9 people tell us what they were willing to pay for a cup of coffee. If we continue to scroll down, we will see that we get this additional information. This is called a summary 5 or a big 5. This tells us the minimum amount of price that people are willing to pay for coffee, so $0. Tells us the maximum amount that people are willing to pay for coffee, which is $10. And it also gives us Q1, Q3, and the med. What this is you can think of this as the middle of the medium. This is, if we were to list these in order, that would be the number that showed up in the dead center. This would be the number that showed up a quarter of the way, and this would be 75% or 3/4 of the way through our data. But we'll talk about this more in class later, but it's good to know that we can use this command on our TI-84 to find that data.